So why don't we just talk about the elephant in the room, interest rates. Everybody see what happened today?
Yep.
Okay, quarter point. More likely July 12th, there'll probably be another quarter point. Some of the mortgage companies already raised rates a little bit in anticipation of that, just in the last 4 or 5 days. Something that you have to understand about interest rates is, quarter point, half point will have a bit of an impact. But also understand that we're going to talk about supply and demand versus the interest rates as well. Okay. The whole idea of this market update is I want to give you my overview and share with you some information about, what history has shown as well, and thoughts on what we can probably see going forward. So let me just jump into that. I'm going to share my screen with everybody. As soon as okay, let me just.
You're recording this, right, Scott? So
I am.
Back here. Okay. I gotta keep my eyes on the gardener here.
Okay. Okay, actually, you know what? It's not letting me share the one that I want to share. Hang on. Let me disappear for 1 second while I bring up what I want to share, and then I will get back to everybody momentarily, if that's okay. Actually,
Hi, everybody. Hi, Michelle.
all right. Got it. Okay, so let me go through. Everybody see my screen okay? The charts?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what we're looking at is, this is from as of the end of May. And this takes in all of the boards across Ontario that are part of the ITSO. Okay, so there's multitudes of them. And it does give us a really good overview of what is taking place. And you've seen me share these before. You've seen where I've recommended on how to use these with your clients as well. And so one of the things I want to show you is, this is the average sale price that's taking place. Okay. And what we've noticed, lots of us across Ontario have seen in the last 60 days, multiple offers on properties again. And so what happened is, we look at back in January, and this is where, the interest rates had already sort of peaked. They haven't risen in this period of time from the beginning of January until today. And during that time, we've actually seen an increase of 11.5% in appreciation. And it's been gradual. And we've been seeing that because of supply and demand. And when we look at the idea of seeing where new listings are, and this goes back to showing that we had at the beginning of the year limited inventory, and then obviously just started to increase, but it hasn't been increasing at the same rate as buyers getting back into the marketplace. So once the interest rates looked like they were staying stable, buyers who were on the edges jumped in. The other issue is that we're also having sellers that are staying off the market. They looked at possibly, moving, but then the idea was, where am I going to go? And that price difference between where you used to be able to say somebody in the GTA was going to sell and put some money in their pockets and then move, to outside the GTA, Well, over the period of time, the last 2 years, we've seen that gap actually shrink. So that advantage is still there, but not to the same extreme as it was. And actually during the COVID periods, the outer areas of the GTA were actually appreciating faster. So what we're seeing though is this is all based on, this year is all based on supply and demand. Okay. So what we have to look at, and Michelle, maybe you could just look at the waiting room. I see I've got a notification that a couple people are waiting. So if you wouldn't mind just clicking them in, that'd be great. And so if we look at that, then this is all based on supply and demand, and people are looking at the current interest rates and going, okay, you know what, this is what I can afford, and I'm still looking at buying. So there still are buyers in the marketplace all around Ontario, but there's a shortage of listings. And with that, what ends up taking place is you get inventory is here, but the actual sales chart has actually gone way up. So we're actually seeing more sales, unit sales, okay? Based on, even if we look at from an increase from May of 2022 to today, we've seen, you know, an increase of 3.6% in actual unit sales. And whereas back in the end of last year, where everybody was being cautious, the unit sales were much lower. And so what ends up taking place is we still have those buyers. And even with the interest rates going up today, the buyers are still going to be there. Some of them who have pre-approvals have 90 days, up to 90 days from when they got their approval to continue and lock in that rate. So you will get a bit of a frenzy from those people saying, okay, now I definitely have to buy. You may have some buyers that may be pushed out of the price range where they were because of the fact that they had that particular value that they could purchase will be diminished a little bit. Not saying that they're going to take themselves out of the market completely. They may just have to change what they're going to be able to buy. Okay. But one of the things I want to show you is this is just 1 year. Right? So we've gone from a really big peak to, if we look at the sale price again, we go from a really big peak to here. But what's happened over the last 5 years is the interesting part. So even today, if you look at this, you can see where the average is about 807,000. But if people bought 5 years ago, they have a fair bit of equity that is in their property. So one of the things you want to try and look at is where would be the possibility of listings? Well, possibility of listings would be somebody that's been in their house 5 years or longer, unless they've refinanced and taken money out. But that would be a target. If I was an agent that was working, I'd be going, okay, who bought, you know, between 5 and 10 years ago? They would be a good target to prospect, because they still have a fair bit of equity that's built into their property. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you to show you that there are opportunities out there, and those would be the good people to speak with. The other thing to look at is if we look at new listings over the 5-year period, we can see, like, history shows us, yes, what's going to happen is we see a spike in new listings around March, April, May, and it starts decreasing and gradually goes down towards the end of summer. I'm going to anticipate, I'm going to suggest this line's going to go up a little bit, but it's going to start coming down as people go through the summer and say, you know what, we're not going to do anything right now. And you usually see it start picking, you know, and that's what's going to take place. So that supply and demand is going to still relatively stay pretty tight. So even with the interest rate going up and may go up again in July, buyers are still going to be there, and the marketplace is still going to be steady, and it's not going to crash. Okay. Some people may have to come off the sidelines for sure. But what we look at is, if we look at sales over a 5-year history, we can see unit sales were lowest right around here, But now they're picking up, and you're going to anticipate, we're going to see if we follow what's taking place, is this is going to follow and come back down this way, which says that there's going to be activity, but you're going to have to work. You're going to have to concentrate on working. You have to talk to more people, but it's not going to crash. Okay. There will be activity, even with the interest rates where they are today. And, one of the things I also wanted to show is that when we look at what's taking place, even on the Toronto Real Estate Board, we can see that activity is still there. Sales are actually higher, 9,000 units, just over 9,000 units sold on the Toronto Real Estate Board versus 7,200 a year ago. Okay, so a 24% increase in unit sales. Okay, but what's happening is we're not seeing the listings coming on. Okay, but the active listings is quite low. So that's where we're seeing that price appreciation. That's where we're seeing the multiple offers. Now, if we follow the charts that we saw, we're going to see a little bit of the unit sales come down, but there's still going to be buyers that are going to be out there. Okay, and so what we have to take a look at is us as agents, what do we need to do? Also, I have a report, I read a report from the Ottawa Real Estate Board, and they also in May, they had a very high unit sales, higher than May in 2022. So it actually falls into the same category as Toronto and the other boards reporting that unit sales are up. Okay. Ottawa actually has only 5 to 6 weeks of inventory. So a strong seller's market. And so what we have to look at is of inventory, even if we look at the inventory here, we'll go down to 1 year, month supply. So we're sitting at 3.2 months. Okay. If we took average across Ontario, that still is just, that still falls into a seller's marketplace. Now, if this continues to rise, then we would get into more of a balanced marketplace. And that's why the actual bank or the government has raised, the Bank of Canada raised the interest rates, is they want to try and get this months of supply line up. How do you do that? You take buyers out of the marketplace, and then you also have sellers that unfortunately may be getting into a position, especially if they have a variable rate that changes each month. There are lots of those are out there where they may be in a position where they're going to have to sell. So when the government looked at what took place the last 5 months, stronger economy than they thought. There's the jobs are like very scarce, and basically, employers are looking for people, and the valuation of homes increased, right? So they looked at those factors and said, okay, we got to slow this down again. And the only tool they have is to raise the interest rates. And now, what we're going to see is the fact that activity is still going to be there. Okay. People that have been in this business a long time, and I'm going to say long time, I'm going to say within the last 5 years or longer. Okay. We've seen this happen before. This is not new. This is not going to be, the clouds are going to come down, everything's going to crash. It's not going to happen. What is happening though, and you've probably noticed it, is you have to work with more people now than you were working with 2 or 3 years ago. Okay? Because the people that you're working with, when you have the interest rate changes, they may take themselves out of the marketplace. The sellers that you're talking with, they will also be looking at being hesitant on what to do. They may take a wait and see approach, which means then you have to up your communication. Okay. You have to up your communication with your database. You have to up the way that you're prospecting. You have to up the way that you're doing your marketing. You have to get more eyeballs and on you as the realtor. You have to communicate with more. You have to pick the phone up. Okay. I do a lot of, I participate in a lot of different webinars, things like that throughout North America. And I get to listen to, big real estate teams, other brokerages, all different brands across North America. And the common thread right now, I was just on a call last week. Unless, people are not getting the same response from their email campaigns that they were before. They're not getting the same response from their flyers that they're putting out. Okay. Where they're getting the activity is still doing those things, still doing the marketing, but picking the phone up and actually communicating with people. Are you, any folks here finding that? Are you finding that it's the conversations that you are now having that are just pushing the clients or the prospect further along? You can talk now if you want. Nobody's phoning anybody?
I'm getting lots of phone calls again from my clients that are my age, basically saying, I'm going to give my kids some money, find them a place, get them out of my house. Working probably with about 6 active buyers, first timers, that are getting the help from mom and dad. And they called me, I didn't call them.
Yeah. But you, Eric, you are very, very good. You're one of the best that I know at keeping in contact with your database, right? You're very, very good at that. And that's what everybody needs to be doing. You need to be communicating with your database and really find how your database likes to communicate. There are some in your database that, text is great. You'll get more response from them by a text than you will trying to reach them by a phone. But the idea of just sending out an email or sending out a newsletter, you need to go that next step in this kind of market. Okay, because they are sitting on the fence, and the easiest way and the easiest decision that a consumer makes is no decision. Right. So unless there's something really major that has to happen, that is happening, that they need to move, they're just going to be indecisive. And that's where they need a professional like yourselves to be able to speak them along the path. Okay. And their decisions are going to be longer to make for them because there's so many other influences out there. Right now, I'm sure you're going to have clients who are going to say, you know what, interest rates look like they're going to continue to rise. I'm just going to wait and see what's going to happen over the next 6 months. You're going to hear that. But what you also have to do is share the graphs that I shared with you, that if you're a member of ITSO, you can just go on and the graphs are all there, and show them what's been happening with the appreciation. Okay. And show them even, the graphs over the years of buying into the market where the appreciation has gone and where history shows it's going to still continue. One of the factors that why the marketplace is where it's at is you have sellers that don't want to move. They're indecisive. You have builders that can't build fast enough. You have builders that actually have taken projects off the market. Now that would only impact longer term people, but immediately there's a shortage of houses, and we all know how long it takes to build a house. Okay, so there's still going to be the supply and demand issue, and I mean that all across Ontario. Okay, there's not that many communities that have excess properties right now. I talk to a lot of the agents, a lot of the brokers. Everybody's experiencing, if not multiple offers, quicker sales, like under 30 days on the market. Okay, so if you're, what you're going to try and look at is try and find those sellers that may have been in their houses 5 years or longer. They would have the equity to be able to make a move. Show them, but you're gonna have to talk to more of them. And just understand that the market is good. The market is good. And you've got to make sure that you're dealing with more clients, as I said earlier, because there will be some that will take them out of the marketplace. Okay. We've all seen it before. And I know, like, even Anita in Niagara, I remember, a few years ago when we were chatting and you were saying, the market there was in a position where some people, it was changing and people were just, I'm just going to sit back and wait. And that's in every marketplace. Okay. It's not new. It's just real estate. It just means you got to talk to more people about buying and selling real estate. You got to let more people know that you're in real estate. Don't be a secret agent. Okay. If you're a secret agent, how is anybody going to know that they can even ask you about questions? And that brings me to my point. The power of the pin. Okay. For those of you that have known me, I always talk about wearing your lapel pin, right? I wear it all the time. 2 weeks ago, I went to lunch in a place in downtown Toronto I've never been in. They don't know who I am. They don't know what I do. They would never have sung in any of my marketing. We're at the lunch table. I have my pin on, as I do. Sitting there, brings over water. Thanks. Would you like a drink? Sure. Comes back. He says, any questions on the menu? Just a few questions here and stuff. And he said, okay. And then all of a sudden he went silent. He looked at me and went, real estate. I said, yes. Do you have any questions about real estate? You're looking to buy or sell? Well, actually, I was just thinking about it. I said, well, whereabouts do you live? And has a condo in Toronto, wants to sell it, wants to move a little bit further west. And the only reason that happened is I had my pin. Okay. So you've got to look at making sure everybody knows you're in real estate. Everybody knows that if you're in an elevator and you're going, or you're walking somewhere, you're in a Tim Hortons, anywhere you are, you need to show your branding. Okay. Because you never know who's going to ask you the question. Just by me having my pin. Now, the part that I'm going to share with you is I was having lunch with another realtor in our company. And guess who got the lead? The person I was having lunch with. So, and that's probably going to be between the condo and the purchase, over $2 million worth of real estate. So not bad for just wearing your pin. I see the brands. I'm loving it. Other thing to keep in mind, no matter where you go, whatever, if you're going out on an appointment, if you're just walking somewhere, I always have, right? If I'm going somewhere for a presentation, I always have it in my portfolio. So one of the things that and Michelle's actually worked on this. So always, don't be a secret agent. Okay. Whatever your marketing is, make sure they know you're in real estate. If you're walking around, make sure they know you're in real estate. I saw an agent in here yesterday that, nice blazer on. And I said, are you going to be on the call tomorrow? Well, maybe not. I'm not sure if I can get there. I said, well, you need to be. And I know who you know now, who you are. Start wearing your lapel pin. Because you didn't have one on yesterday. So anyways, so what we've done, I'm going to turn this over to Michelle. And she's got some stuff to tell you.
Well, thank you. I think that is a great segue. So as many of you know, my title is marketing executive. So this kind of falls into that category now. And as we talk about wearing the pin, Nancy wearing her shirt, I got my mug every day. I have something that is not only a conversation piece, but for you as agents could potentially lead to that $2 million in real estate type of conversation. So to kind of get everyone kickstarted, I have created what is our new Realty Executives Pro Shop on Vistaprint. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. So I will be sending out the invitation to become a part of our Pro Shop to all of our agents right after this session. What we've created is about 30 templates. We have our business cards on there ready for you to fill out and customize as you see fit. We also have pens, sticky notes, mugs, lanyards. We've had some agents in the office that have already purchased these items. They look great. They are extremely useful, such as the tote bag. And we got all the apparel that I could possibly design for you guys to pick colors, sizes, and just really start getting conversations happening with people who may not know that you're an agent, or as I've spoken to some executives, some people have thought they've retired. We don't want people thinking that. We want people talking to you about real estate, about your career and how your job can help them in their needs. We got some great hats here. We got t-shirts. We got customizable lapel pins. The name tags are magnets. They're not going to wreck your clothes. They look great. Stickers, and definitely watch out for some more merchandise coming out. It's all customizable. You buy whatever you want. You have your own Pro Shop account. And I do want to thank Kelly Blair, Rhea, and Bunny for helping me with the templates. You guys had already had some great stuff, and I kind of just added on to that. So as a group effort, I think this absolutely comes at a great time, since Scott was saying the power of the pin, the power of branding, the power of just letting people know this is what you do and you're there to help. Like I said, I'm going to be sending out this link along with all of the charts that Scott has used in the presentation, so you guys can really kickstart this next kind of season with some really cool stuff.
That's great. Thanks, Michelle. I was looking as you were scrolling down because I'm almost out of those presentation folders that I use a lot, and I put my CMAs in it with my business card. Are you going to get some of those in there that we can order through the site?
Yes, Jake and I are actually working on a lot of printable material, folders, all that kind of stuff. And if there's anyone that's used Vistaprint before, or I've always wanted a template on Vistaprint, please reach out. There are absolutely spaces for that kind of content on here. I want to make sure everyone has the option, and I just want everyone looking really cool.
Yeah, Vistaprint is actually very reasonably priced. This shirt is from Vistaprint. I have a red shirt like this. I have ball caps. I have so much stuff. My business cards are from Vistaprint. They are amazing. And the thing that they're very reasonably priced, and the merchandise comes very, very quickly. Like their shipping turnaround is amazing to your door.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would highly recommend them, actually.
And with the Pro Shop account, we actually have our own team of customer success people, and they're on call 24/7. We need a template. We need to track shipping, anything that we could possibly ask. They're there for us, which is
awesome.
Also really cool.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah.
I agree.
I got one of the jackets that's in there, and I'll just say the quality, I love it. Like it's a really nice quality jacket that fits nice.
Yeah.
So it's a little fleece lined, and yeah.
I have a short sleeve dress shirt from there as well with the logo on it. Yeah, they're really good.
And-
Yes, anytime you see me now, I'm just gonna be completely decked out in Realty Executives.
Which is great. And so when we do know that, lots of you may have your own people you don't, right? Which is fine. But we want to make sure.
I think we're getting feedback from Ria's.
Okay. Michelle, you can have 30 items. Okay. All right. Okay, any questions on that? Oh. Yeah, so what you want to do, and as I mentioned, is make sure that people know you're in the business, okay? You never know where the business is going to come from. You never know, so you just want to make sure. Thanks to Michelle and the team that put this together, because as an individual agent, sometimes you're thinking, what am I going to order? Where do I have to go get it? And ordering, because we now have this pro shop, there is some special pricing that's put in there because of the number of people. They service everywhere, right? So, which is good. But that's really what we wanted to introduce today. And the nice thing about it is that particular pro shop, if you come across an item that you really like, and it's something that you want to see on there, just get it to Michelle, and because she has the direct contact with the site and all the editing that goes on there. Okay. Any topics you want to touch on? Any items, any questions right now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mark.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in the car, so there was feedback. I just had a quick question with everyone on the call right now. Have any of you really gone into depths into the changeover from Stratus to Realm? And what are most people going to be changing to when they switch over at the end of the month?
I've been using Realm for quite some time now, and I love it. Like, I'm on Omdreb or Itso, and I've seen the Matrix side of things as well. But Realm, at least for me, I find that it competes with like Home Sigma and the other apps. My clients absolutely love it because they can look up past sales, they can set up their own maps, as opposed to the old prospect search that was on Stratus, which was good for the time, but we were lagging behind all these third-party sites. And I still use them both. I haven't completely switched over, but I always have Realm and Stratus up. My clients chat to me through it. Like, I'll set them up initially with the mapping and the price and the filters that we discussed. But I'm constantly getting messages through the app. Oh, sorry. The other thing I want to say with Realm, it's only as good as the app. You have to put it on your phone in the app. You can't just use it on the computer or whatever, because you're going to miss out. You won't be able to reply to your clients quick enough and that sort of thing. But once you've got the app, if you're using it all the time, you don't have to keep logging in with the authenticator. You can look things up. Clients, at least the feedback that I'm getting, my clients love it. And a lot of them have just stopped using Home Sigma and they're using Realm through me.
Eric, is this like in lieu of collaborate?
Correct.
Because I think, yeah, so you use it the same way.
Yeah, I was on Collab the same, so I sort
Right.
of took those same things, setting up clients and doing all that, but just Realm, I think the dashboard is more customer friendly. The
Okay.
clients, like, they can move around really easy, they can make maps. And I've got a mixture of old clients like me and their kids, and I'm getting the same feedback from both, that they love this new setup.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
Copy,
maybe I
Mark?
can buy you lunch one day, Eric, and you can show me at the office how to use it properly.
Yeah, well, it's about time you bought me lunch. You've been saying it for 5 years now, so.
Yeah, I just said that to Jeff the other day.
I'm just
All right,
kidding.
so we got a lunch date, and the new Realm program is just for Toronto Real Estate Board members. They're switching over to this new system, so just to fill that in.
Simcoe too, right? Don McCaskian is.
Yeah, anybody that is a member of TRAB, either through an affiliate membership, you're going to have the choice of Stratus will no longer be there. You either have to use the Matrix system or the new Realm. Okay. Everybody I know has been receiving. We are doing an in-person on June 20th event here at the main head office. We have Doug Thompson coming in from 10 o'clock till 12. We're actually going to be doing a session on how to get listings in a tight market. So If anybody is in the area, and highly recommend if you can attend, let Michelle know, because we're also doing lunch. And then anybody that's also interested in, on June 22nd, we're also doing a session on assignments, okay? One of the things that I've been asked a few times is, pre-construction, yeah, people have bought pre-construction, but how do the assignment offers work? Okay, so I'm going to be doing a session on that. Actually, Mark Weisleader, who's a lawyer, is actually going to be doing the session. So just in case anybody has any questions on assignments, if you can look at the opportunity of being part of that session, it'll answer a lot of the questions, including how to fill out the actual assignment offer. If you can't make that session, please reach out to me, because I can explain it to you. I can send you samples. I can send you, offers that I've done assignment sales. So I'm very, very familiar with it. I know how they work. But there is an opportunity where understand that assignments would be very good for you to know, because no matter where in Ontario, if somebody bought a new place and it hasn't closed yet, and it took a year and a half to build, when they originally bought that, the interest rate was 4 to 4.5% lower than it is today. They can no longer afford to close that house. So we are seeing more interest in assignment sales, where those buyers do have a contract that they definitely, the prices in most cases today are still higher when they bought, but if they don't close, they lose their deposit. So there is opportunities if you understand how assignments work. There are more and more of them, especially in the new condominiums, because of between the occupancy date and the registration date is when we're seeing a lot of these assignment sales happening.
Scott, is that in person or online?
The one that is on the 22nd is online, but it's not my Zoom. So, but if you're a Toronto Real Estate Board member, you can actually go in and sign up for it. Okay, just look for June 22nd. But I'm trying to come up with ideas of how we can get more people into the office, because we are finding that we've got more coming in, and there's great conversations and there's lots of great energy. So we're going to look at doing some more events, and we're also going to look at possibly doing some events that we have where they're in person as well as Zoom. So if you can't get there, we're going to have them on Zoom as well. So we're just going to be testing that out. Herbert, Michelle, and I had a meeting this morning, and thanks to Herbert, we were able to get some new equipment in that we're going to be testing and utilizing to see how we can make that happen. Okay, so we want to get more information out to the region and get more participation, because the conversations, like, we have very smart people in Realty executives. So the more we can share about who's having successes, the more everybody benefits. Okay, so you will start seeing some more scheduling of stuff like this, where in-person, Zoom in-person combination. So hopefully we can get your participation and suggestions and stuff like that, because we got a great group and we want to make sure that we all succeed together. Any questions? Any topics anybody want to throw out? So next time I see everybody, you'll all be sporting your, if you do not have the lapel pin and you would like a lapel pin, please reach out to me personally. Everybody should have my email. Send me a note. I will personally make sure you get it. I have them here in the office. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, thoughts?
I have more of a concern.
Yeah.
Inventory, like, up here, it's getting incredibly frustrating. And as we've discussed in the past, I have become friends with several agents in the area, and we're all having the same problem. We are not getting the showings. We're just not.
Okay.
Listings are not, like, as you know, I do a lot of marketing. We're just, nothing's moving.
So is it waterfront? Is it land? Is it cottages?
All of the above.
All of the above?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in a secondary, most of yours is secondary buyers, secondary units? In the sense
Yes.
where they, they're GTA people looking to buy something, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they holding off offers up there, Nancy, or are you pricing a little higher? And
I've done one competing offer this year, but other than that, there's a lot of price reductions going on right now. I approached one of my sellers yesterday for a price reduction and they said no. But if you do look at the market here, yes, it is becoming the norm to do a price reduction because we are not getting the showings, and it's not just me and the price point that my listings are at.
Right.
It's throughout Coldwell Banker, Royal Page. They're the big presence here.
Yeah.
Summary
I was
map.
just wondering if the strategy up there was the same as what's happening here, where, if you see a property that's listed, say the property's worth $850 and an agent lists it for $9 or $9 and change, you see those properties sitting. And if you list similar property for $799 and you hold off offers on, you're getting tons of showings, and you might only get a couple of offers. That one that I just sold in Britannia, I only got a handful of offers, but I got more than what we even thought we were going to get because of, holding off offers in the competition. And if you know how to work it properly and stuff.
Well, which
It's
is
almost
fair.
Sorry?
And holding off offers was a thing last summer.
Yeah.
You won't see it now. Not
But same
happening.
with us, but Nancy, same with us. It died the last 2 quarters of last year. It stopped. We stopped doing that, and we were just pricing things. And it sort of tailed into January, February. But now every single listing, you can see what agents are doing. The ones that are saying, well, I can't do that, and they're listing it higher. I go on Broker Bay and see how many showings they're getting or whatever. They're not getting showings.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I hate holding off offers when I'm on the buying side. I friggin' hate it. But when I'm representing sellers, like I've got one coming up in Oakville, I'm going to say the same thing. It's worth $1 million. We're going to list it for 8 and change, and we're going to list it for 5 days, make it quick and fast, and market it however you want to market it. And we'll get more showings and hopefully more offers and sell it for the price that they're guaranteed for. Now, we do see some on Treb where I guess they overpromised their sellers and didn't get it. And then we get a message out through Broker Base saying, hey, we got 5 or 6 offers, but the sellers didn't accept. We're going to adjust the price, which is a downward spiral. But anyway, that agent wasn't managing the clients right. But for the most part, anyone that's using the holding off offer strategy, again, even though we've had this 7-8 month lapse from doing that, is being successful right now. So it's price point, especially people that are going to be coming up from the GTA looking up at you. All they're going to do, they don't see the broker marks. All they're going to do is look and say, oh my God, this place is $699, even though you're hoping to get 8 or whatever. They're going to plan their weekend to go up there and see it. And I don't know, maybe it would work for you, maybe not. But I notice here, if you don't hold off offers and price attractively, you're not going to get shown.
It's definitely food for thought that I will stew on.
Yeah, Anita?
Here in Niagara, we are in the sale of property world. So a lot of our offers are contingent on sale of property.
Yeah. There's that.
And then we're seeing sale of property, like 3 sale of properties to get the last one sold. That's the market we're having down here. They are firming up though, when, push comes to shove, they're firming up. Mary just had one. She got the sale offer in the first 2 days, and then within 15 days, they were sold and moving on. So that's what we're seeing down in Niagara, is that kind of anything over like 6 or 7 has sale of property offers. Anything
Right.
under is in multiple offers, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So Nancy, can you send me all your listings? Or just send me the MLS numbers? I'm gonna review them for you.
Okay.
Okay. And well, we'll look at some of the remarks. I'm just gonna go on, look at the photos, look at some. But understand too that where you are in that area, majority of those are people that are looking, not moving out of the GTA. They're basically again buying a second property, correct?
They're buying a second property, or a couple of them, a lot of estate sales here because everybody's old.
Right.
And I just signed one this morning that's going on the market tomorrow. Which I would like you to look at.
Okay.
If I send you so my listings
Perfect. Yep.
thing, you can just click on it all.
Yep. I can go through it all.
Okay.
And to Eric's point, especially if you have an estate sale, lowering the price, holding off offers, promoting it like crazy, especially for estate sales, because the buyer thinks they're getting a deal, because one, normally estate sales need work and people think, okay, and they know the sellers are motivated because they do need to sell it. So
I'm
Show it empty if you can.
Well,
If
no,
you
like,
can, and it
one of them,
shows-
my clients still lives in it. Her husband died like while I've had it listed.
oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Scott, you knew about that one, right?
Yeah.
But I find that a lot of the sellers are still in the peak of COVID frame of mind. And I'm finding that you have to sit down and discuss with them, like, no, that was then and this is now, and interest rates have gone up like a ton, and the market has completely changed. So now when I'm listing properties, I say to them straight, this is not going to jump off the market. It's not going to sell in 2 days.
So one of the things I can do for you as well, those graphs that I was showing you, we can take them down to even a smaller area.
Mhm.
And I'm going to highly recommend, especially with sellers, that you show them, here's where the pricing was, here's reality. Okay. And that sometimes, instead of us saying it, is if we can show it to them, then there's more impact and more believable, because they actually see it from a third party. Right? It's not us sort of presenting it. It's, I'm the messenger, but here's the message from the consumers. It was the consumers that decided that this market and the increase in interest rates, and I would do two charts. I would do a chart from where the interest rates were to where they are today, and I would take the charts that are from where the prices were to where they are today. And they're going to be absolutely two different directions, right? So I would use that in the pricing presentation.
Okay, fair enough. And the other thing I do for follow-up to show the status of their listing is I do go on to it. So Mondays and Fridays, I send out that my listings report so they can see how many hits they've had.
Mhm.
And I find that is incredibly effective to bring them to reality as well. Like, you've had 257 showings or views and nobody's asked for an appointment.
Yeah, so
I find that to be incredibly powerful too.
that's a great tool, and everybody should be using that as well. And you can also, I think that report also takes in the number of hits you get on realtor.ca as well, I believe. Right?
It's got client portal, it's got different stuff.
So, and that's a great thing to show, because, when there's no showings, they blame, it's like they blame you versus saying, okay, well, wait a minute, look at all the marketing I've done and here's the activity we've been getting. Okay. But price is usually the answer.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on that from anybody else? Lots of smart people here. I see your names. Okay. Any other questions? All right.
Thanks, Eric, for the conversation, by the way.
Good. Super. All right. Well, I want to thank you for being on this. We're going to start trying to put together a schedule of things that we're going to be speaking about, and they're going to vary, and we'll put that out to everybody. But if you are available on June 20th and June 22nd, please look for that. And again, if you do not have a lapel pin and you want one, reach out to me and I'll get it to you.
Thank
All
you.
right,
So much. Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Appreciate
everybody.
it.